The term servant leadership may sound too soft for the business world, but companies led by individuals who ascribe to this style are seeing the impact on their bottom lines and attracting millennials to join their ranks, according to Marcel Schwantes, an executive coach with leadership from the core businesses. He describes both benefits in this interview with Carrier Management's Suzanne Sclafane.
There's a business case to be made for servant leadership. I guess talk about that. How do you convince executives and HR people about how servant leadership maybe can affect the bottom line?
Yeah, I hear a lot about how servant leadership is, too soft for business, and but studies keep proving otherwise. Too many to mention in one podcast. But the best business case I can think of is the turnaround of Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen, the global restaurant chain. When their CEO, Cheryl Bachelder, took over around 2007, that company's sales and profits were really in the tank. It was in the negative. And she tells her story in the book that she wrote this year. It's called Dare to Serve, which I highly recommend. She and her team brought this idea of servant leadership over and said, hey, what if we turn the spotlight to the people we serve instead of keeping it to ourselves? And what would that look like? Well, the people they serve are the restaurant franchise owners, right? So they did just that and started to put all the focus on developing and nurturing those franchise owners. And the results were incredible. She reinvented their culture, and their purpose statement became to inspire servant leaders to achieve superior results, and it worked. Popeye sales grew by 25%. Their market share went up through the roof, and they opened up about 200 new restaurants, which was the highest opening count in about 15 years for that company. So all of this is attributed to changing their culture to a servant leadership culture. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Okay. It's one of the biggest challenges that I know our readers are facing in the insurance industry is attracting new employees from the younger generation to consider careers in insurance. And having read some of your work, I understand that the principles of servant leadership truly resonate with the millennials. Can you tell us what is the appeal, and how might the willingness to adopt servant leadership principles help insurers to attract millennials?
And I did a webinar for Casualty Actuarial Society last week for their chairpersons, and I talked about how millennials thrive under servant leadership structure. So, if your insurance carrier is getting younger, or maybe even wants to get younger, you got to start thinking about a different approach that inspires and motivates this generation. Because what the research is saying is that millennials thrive in community, and they seek workplaces that collaborate well, and they want management that engages them. And so these people are different animals with very different needs. They purpose. They want meaning in their daily work, not just a paycheck, free coffee or a ping pong table in the lunchroom. They're big on getting mentoring and coaching and learning and development. They're experiential. So, you want to furnish a laboratory environment for them to expose them to new experiences. They're social. So, you want to employ conversation and storytelling. So these are all strengths of a servant-led institution that really may appeal to Gen Y. Okay.
And I want to get just a little personal for a minute. You're so passionate about this topic. I guess what started you on the journey to spread the word about servant leadership? Why has it become your mission?
Yeah, well, this is a no-brainer. I saw enough bad examples of leadership. Those who I reported to in executive positions, as well as peers of mine that I witnessed at the highest level. These are all good people. I had nothing against them as individuals. Some of them are still my friends, but they were leaders who did not have the capacity to engage and motivate and inspire and develop properly. properly. So I saw, costly decisions. I saw horrible turnover rates. One company up to 60%. And what I saw in most of those situations, Suzanne, was the opposite of what we've been exploring here, which led to low morale, unhappy employees and customers. So after researching the best approaches, I landed on servant, and believe me, it took me quite a few books and thought leaders and research and just reading up on a lot of stuff, and I found that servant leadership is the best in class model to transform work culture, and so this became our calling as a company.
And you've already described a little bit about what our listeners will learn at the upcoming webinar, but tell us a little more. I guess what can they expect, and how can they sign up for the webinars?
Yeah, this is the first of two webinars we're calling. The title is six servant leadership practices that drive performance and increase your bottom line. We chose that title because we want to make sure that people in upper management understand that there is a business case for this. So we're going to basically uncover what research is saying are the standards for creating a healthy and profitable organization through servant leadership. So it's for anyone in a leadership or management role, or if you're in an HR position that is looking for a new leadership model to help develop your managers. This is really for you. So it will be held on September 8th.
Okay.
At 1:30 p.m. That's Eastern Standard. So September 8th, 1:30 p.m. And you can sign up on our website, leadershipfromthecore.com. That's leadershipfromthecore, CORE.com. Now, we're going to have a sign-up form there in a few days. So I want to make sure that people understand. So keep checking back because it's going to be posted soon. We just have to embed the code in there.
Want more information? Visit carriermanagement.com/sign up and become a member today.